Live. You're live! Hello everyone, I'm Santiago and today I'm gonna be testing Final Fantasy 16 demo. It got an update a few days ago, update 1.02, and I wanted to basically get over the prologue so tomorrow when the game actually releases we can actually play the open world stuff. How's it going, guys? Welcome. So the game is not out yet and there's already patches, so good guys Square Enix. In comparison to Nier Automata, they actually are releasing patches for this one, even before the game is coming out, so that's good. So we should now be in the best state. This will be also applied to the full game, so what are the settings that I'm using? 800p right now. HDR, no. Hey Spacewalker 21. Yes, we apply the settings, yeah. FSR3 performance. And we're basically using the lowest settings, but medium textures. We'll see what happens. And we're using variable rate shading as well. It's 12 AM here in Europe, good night. Good night, sir. Yeah, here it's 7:23 PM, basically. Did I try the patch on PC? Not yet, but I haven't even tried this game on Steam Deck, so I wanted to give it a shot, and at the same time get through the intro to see if we can survive with the Steam Deck without any... Hang on. Okay. There we go. And thank you, Spacewalker, for the 6.66 USR donation. He says, I'm not expecting a playable game after this patch. Okay. Let's find out, shall we? I agree, but I hope I'm wrong. Would be nice. Thank you again for the donation. Thank you so much, man. What did the patch change? They addressed some stuttering issues and some graphic settings not applying. So, for example, if you disable the reflections didn't fully disappear, apparently, so that's good to see. And, well, basically variable rate shading as well. So now we're trying it with 800p lowest FSR3 performance. I'm expecting this to be, yeah. I mean, at least in the sections where these bloomy enemies are showing up and there's a lot of destruction, which is kind of the point of the game. It'll drop. So yeah, whenever I need tutorials on Steam, I always look for you. Thanks, man. Thanks for that. Happy to help. Before it can't run on RX 580. Yeah, I think it doesn't launch on the 500 series AMD cards. Interestingly enough. All right. Hey, it's a bit better than I was anticipating, actually. This part dropped like... Never mind. It dropped into the 20s and the teens on PC, this section. But this part doesn't seem to be that action focused. We'll see. Do you think they'll add FSR3 to the PS5 patch version? I don't think right now. Maybe they add PSSR, which will be interesting. PSSR on PS5 I think could save, well, PS5 Pro, because on PS5 I don't think they can use PSSR. So I'm guessing that no, they won't add FSR3, but hopefully I'm wrong. Sí, God of War Ragnarok. Falta menos. Okay, my CPU there didn't like that. Oh god. Okay, apparently it was loading something. But hey, so far there's a couple of moments where it drops into the 20s, which is expected. But we'll see once we actually play the game. Hey, Maisha, how's it going? Do you think they'll add FSR3 to the PS5? Oh, I already read that. But tomorrow we're trying this on the PC, as usual. So we'll see what happens. There's also frame generation, which is... Oh, I can skip this, thank God.
Yes, sir.
Lower resolution options, maybe, who knows at this point. I'm not even using FrameGen yet, so we'll see.
I said focus, Wyvern.
But hey, we're playing at 400p basically, although there's black bars, so maybe if I choose 720 I get a slight boost to performance. Yeah, I tried lossless scaling in the past, but it wasn't amazing. I mean, it's okay, it works. 720. Huh, funny. I get like a big thing in the the game is on the middle of the screen.
All hell is about to break loose.
39 versus... Yeah, no, it's the same. Okay. We have benchmark GPUs on this game? Yeah. I'm playing the demo. But I'm just trying to get on ahead to the part that actually is demanding, which is outdoors, open world after the prologue. And if you play the demo, you can actually play up until the prologue ends. So I think that's perfect. Oh, nice. Naraj. Besides the docking, no. I think with the dock, you're more than fine. And if you want more battery life, maybe a power bank would be my recommendation for the Steam Deck. Ancelot, no tengo idea porque no hay una versión sin de nuevo todavía. Yo creo que en el futuro va a haber. But the lower resolution options would be nice, but still, we're at 400p, so I don't know how much lower. Maybe ultra performance, but is it usable at that point? That's kind of the question for me. Yeah, it seems to be running better than what I saw on the internet. I think the improvement is that many of the options in the options menu are now actually working, like screen space reflections. But in the cutscenes it drops way harder. And for some reason FrameGen doesn't work in cutscenes, but there's a mod that already fixes that. Are you going to test Dragon's Dogma 2 when the patch drops? I don't know. When is that patch coming? I forgot that the game existed, honestly. Oh, I cannot jump there. But let's see once we get to the castle and all that. I just want to get outside. And by outside I mean the part when the PS5 drops like to 720p. Would be nice. Did they finally fix Dragon's Dogma 2? I don't know, I forgot again, I forgot that game came out. If you stream from your main PC to the deck, yep, you can play the native res and it looks good. Yeah, if you stream with Moonlight from your PC to your Steam Deck, it'll look basically native. I do it a lot actually. I play at 1200p on my PC and I stream with Moonlight to the Steam Deck, to the OLED. And the OLED has HDR, so I can enable HDR on my main PC and play with full HDR on the OLED with the 60 FPS. And don't do 90 just because some games have issues getting there, but you can do it and it works well. Your PC also drops in cutscenes? Okay, good to know that it's not only me. Okay, we skip. Also guys, if you ever played this this demo and you're going to play the full game, Revisit Combat Training, no. So yeah, in cutscenes it drops pretty hard. And it's locked to 30 in the cutscenes, which is again fixed with a mod already. So as I was saying, if you already played the demo, the save file actually carries over to the full game, so that's good. That's what I'm trying to finish the prologue. Ok, Lagoon Reef, se agradece el aporte. Lo voy a revisar la semana que viene. It's funny, at the lowest settings, it still looks pretty good. There is no ambient occlusion, so everything looks more flat. But I mean, shadows are still dang good. What the hell? I think they could drop shadows further than this.
They've closed the gates.
Let's hope the side entrance is still open.
Yeah, SteamOS on desktop PCs will be a blast. Hopefully there's good compatibility with NVIDIA as well. But looking into the castle already drops us to 24, 25. This dropped on the PC as well. In cases like this, outside of combat, I'll maybe use FrameGen personally. Just to have a smoother looking image, because we're not actually in combat at the moment. So with FrameGen, for some reason HDR enables itself. There we go. Now we're using FrameGen. FrameGen enabled. Oh god. What's up with the FrameGen? Maybe, hang on. I forgot to disable the allow tearing thing. Huh. What the hell? I'm confused. Maybe I have to restart the game. Or maybe... Oh, we are VRAM limited. Okay. Let's put textures on low. Yeah, it runs smoother than before because some of the options were broken. Like you could disable the reflections, but actually when you disable the reflections, they still were on screen. I noticed that when I played the demo on PC, but I wasn't sure why it wasn't working. Same with variable rate shading. Yeah, let me save. Let's restart the game. Let's see if that fixes the issue. Why is it getting worse? Well, if we are VRAM limited, if you enable FrameGen, is going to make it worse. Because FrameGen actually needs some extra VRAM. So I'm guessing medium textures with FrameGen is a little bit too much. Qué lástima el madraco. Sí, YouTube la verdad deja mucho que desear. Yeah, it runs smoother than before. I mean, I could get why it would run better than before, the demo. Because now you can actually disable those reflections. But let's very quickly see. FSR3 performance. There's also dynamic res, but I don't think this is a good idea right now. We're already super limited. FSR3 FrameGen. Everything on low. I tried medium textures, but when FrameGen was enabled, I was like, okay, getting worse frames. Let's see what happens. Does FSR3 work with DLSS and RTX cards? Yeah, it does work. Yeah, it's probably a bug or something. You shouldn't do that. I don't know. We're still close to the VRAM limit, but not quite. Maybe VSync is on by mistake. Yeah, I don't get it. Oh well. I guess I'm going to disable FrameGen then. Okay. FrameGen disabled for now. We'll see later if it helps us in any way. That was weird. I think when you are actually at the very limit of the GPU, the FrameGen does not help at all. So yeah, in this case at least, I'll disable FrameGen. But in the cutscenes it drops hard. And this game, I don't know, I haven't finished it. I didn't even play it on PS5. It's all about the story, so... yeah. ¿Qué dice Elfo? ¿Todo bien? DLSS quality plus FSR3 FrameGen. Yeah, I think it's independent from DLSS, actually. But so far the castle is where I dropped the most, especially if I'm looking at the edge of the map into the castle. With the NPCs around and all that.
The power of the Phoenix.
Was it TDP? Good question. I mean, it's the maximum it can go. I forgot to do something. Let me unplug the charger. It's going to not like that, but I can see battery life. 1 sec. Rogue Ally probably tomorrow. We'll see. I'm a little bit time constrained this week. Okay. Now I'm on battery. So I should show you everything that it's using. It's also taking a bit of power from the dock, so keep that in mind. A little bit better battery than it says there. You're a simple man, 30 FPS lock, satisfied your needs. Yeah, the thing is, we cannot actually get lock 30s. At least not right now. By the way, it did compile shaders when it launched, which is a good thing. I wish every game did that. Yeah, there's no 16:10 either. But there's a mod already on the internet that actually fixes the aspect ratio. So, and unlocks the frame rate in the cutscenes and allows FrameGen on the cutscenes. So, there's already a custom solution. But I'm holding off for the full game to come out, so if they do the mod again, if they fix the game or something, I'd rather have it... Oh, man. I'd rather have it on the full game. Because maybe they do a new patch and the mod stops working. It happens. Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, Capcom and Square Enix are the most famous ones when it comes to lack of 16:10. It seems to be a Japanese thing. No, the GPU capped at a certain frame rate doesn't help because we are limited by the TDP. It will be more stable probably, but in CPU bound scenarios, such as, I guess, looking at the castle, the CPU will be like, oh man, not enough power, and it'll still drop frames. Although outside here, this part runs better, as far as I remember, so... So we'll see. There's a boss fight in this. Hey, Shogu! Yeah, the CPU is suffering loading the levels. Okay, let's see. This is the part... Okay, now actually disabling the screen space reflections disables the reflections. These are apparently our cube maps now. Okay, so that's one of the things that they fixed. That the reflections are only cube maps. So actually the screen space stuff now is disabled on the lowest settings, so good improvement. That should have been there from day one, but hey. Yeah, with the drops under 30, especially on cutscenes, it's hard to recommend, honestly. And this part is not super demanding. But at least combat in this location is fine. The thing is, I'm trying to get away from the prologue. So once the game comes out tomorrow, I'm guessing in around 14 hours, it seems, we're going to have a save that actually is in a demanding scenario. Yeah, let's try FrameGen in the swamp. That's a good idea. Good point. So FrameGen, and for some reason HDR enables itself. There we go. Yeah, it's still a bit buggy in the options. Not sure what's going on there. Yeah, I don't know, maybe FrameGen for me is broken. But it just destroys my frame times.
Welcome to Stillwind.
I'm confused.
Care, my lord. There's more.
At least to me, it doesn't look smooth at all with FrameGen. And the GPU usage is dropping. Hang on, let me see if I'm only using the Steam Deck screen, if it still happens. Yeah, still does. Not sure if you guys... Whoa. Still the spiky frame time. But I'm going to cap the GPU to something like 1400 and see if that helps. Yeah, the input delay probably is annoying, considering how low the frame rate goes. It kinda makes sense. In a bad way. Yeah, the input lag is horrible. Just moving the camera tells you everything you need to know. Hold up, that is not connecting. I think I need power on the dock to get an image again. LMAO. There we go. Let's cap the GPU at 1300, because what I'm noticing is that the GPU clock drops pretty low. GPU clock, let's put it at 1300 so we get the CPU some room to spare. Okay, that's better, but the frame time, I mean, it feels better actually, but there's still latency. I mean, yeah, the frame times are horrible with FrameGen for some reason. What do you think about FrameGen mods for Steam Deck games? I think it's a great idea. Personally, I do not like FrameGen just because usually on the Steam Deck we get very low frame rates. With low frame rates is usually not good because of the input latency. So let me try, instead of FSR3, something else. 36 frames looking at this part. Come on. Let's try XeSS super quick. It's probably going to run worse, but let's give it a shot. Instead of 36, we get... Okay, 35. Actually, XeSS I think is a better idea. Although around the hair, I get ghosting. Yeah. Let me see if there is FrameGen on XeSS. I don't think there is, but we might as well try it. Only DLSS3 or FSR3. Okay. Let's try dynamic res, and let's see what it does. If I look at the ground, yeah, dynamic res doesn't look good, although it's doing its job. This setting is not available when super resolution is disabled. Okay, so it's using FSR3 for upscaling. Gotcha. Try balance. Sure, why not? FSR3 balanced. But let's finish this part. Personally, I would just lock it to 30. So just doing this, I'll come here and 30. FPS lock. And hopefully this makes it a bit more bearable. I love those dumb quick time events. Can you cap the FPS to 30? Yeah, I just did. Right on time. FrameGen off. Not on. At FrameGen for me, at least so far, hasn't been working properly. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. FrameGen was disabled a few minutes ago. To be fair, you need like a 3080 to run this game at 60 FPS at 1440p. Yeah, I mean, just look at how the PS5 runs the game. The game on PS5 can drop as low as 720p, I think, or a bit lower than that. So that's how you know that it's not going to run nicely on the PC. But this section doesn't seem to be demanding in comparison to the castle. The castle part seems to be pretty CPU limited as well. But in this case, FrameGen, I wouldn't use it. At least on the patch demo. Oh my god, I have to press RT! Oh, no, I won't kick it. Ugh, wall. Ugh, no. That kills me, man. It's hilarious. So unnecessary. Yeah, I mean, at the lowest settings, I agree with Jung Sigala. At the lowest settings, the game doesn't look that much worse. I mean, yeah, texture resolution is lower, there's no screen space reflections, yeah, but it still looks pretty good. The game itself, though, runs pretty poorly. But again, considering how it runs on PS5, I'm not surprised. It was kind of what I was anticipating. Sí, con HDR se ve muy bien. Yeah, guys, with HDR, if you're playing on the OLED, it looks great with HDR. I disabled HDR for this because I'm recording a video, but it works pretty well with HDR. If you have the LCD deck, it won't be that much different. I mean, we'll still be CPU limited and GPU limited at points. I mean, I had both of them and I barely noticed a difference when it comes to performance. Very small improvement. XeSS balanced. I mean, XeSS is not perfect either, but I think it's a good idea. But we need to get to the end of the demo, I think. XeSS runs a tiny bit worse. I think it has a bit more ghosting though. But at the same time, FSR3 is a little bit crispy on the edges, especially those trees in the background. Let me try that, but with XeSS. XeSS does a better job, and it's XeSS 1.3, which should be more stable visually, with a lower pixel count. So let's do XeSS. Now that we're here, we might as well. Actually, it looks pretty... yeah, the ghosting is way more noticeable in the trees on XeSS. Yeah, also when I'm moving the camera, I see like... how to say this? More pixelation? No, more ghosting. The image seems to be like duplicated. Looks like games that you play on PCSX2. Yeah, kinda. The resolution is pretty close. Looks like he's running okay at 30 FPS. Yeah, in this section, it's not surprising. This section was running pretty well by itself already. Now that we don't have reflections, it runs even better. So I'm not super surprised when it comes to that right now. But we need to finish this prologue and we'll be ready for the full game tomorrow. And by the way, I'm playing on easy so I can read the chat while I play the game. It's not a skill issue, okay? Almost dead. Thoughts on GeForce now? I haven't tried it yet because I never had the chance, but in Uruguay, now that we have actually dedicated servers for that, so I should give it a shot. But local streaming from my PC over the internet has been working pretty well, as long as it was Wi-Fi. If it's not Wi-Fi, if I'm using like 5G, there's a lot of input lag. So GeForce Now should be fine as long as you have servers close to you, I'm guessing. I heard good things about it. What bothers me is that even if you pay, you could still have queues for servers, which I think is hilarious. Le falta el servidor de GeForce. What GPU do the GeForce Now servers have? I think if you pay more, you have like a 3080 or something like that, which is an interesting premise in my opinion. I mean, the game by itself doesn't run well. I played it on PC already, and it drops pretty damn low. So it's not the fault of the Steam Deck, but if you want to play the game, well, there you go. Yeah, this part, if you enable screen space reflections, I think the monster actually reflects. And when I played this, when the demo came out, this guy did have a reflection anyway. So that's interesting.
I said, stay away from its mouth.
I'm trying. Ah, okay, I gotcha. The easy mode lets you time the dodges. Okay, I think it stopped. Yeah, I mean, there's some big stutters here and there, especially at the beginning. We'll see now, once we actually get ahead. Tomorrow will be super interesting. I want to see the open world in the sections that the PS5 drops, like, to 720p. ¿Qué loco, Nacho? So on PC uses a lot, when effects show up, uses a lot of CPU. Yeah, it kind of makes sense. Maybe, not sure if they're using GPU particles. Maybe not. Although here, man, the effect is completely broken. That's hilarious. Yeah, the effect is broken right now. Look at that. Oh yeah, those squares of death. Yeah, definitely playable. I'm so convinced now. And so far I think I like FSR3 on this one more. It's a little bit too soft with XeSS. Yeah, it was dark matter. Dark matter, yeah. Let's try balance FSR3 again. Yeah, it looks way more crisp. Although there is chunkiness to the image, like in FSR2 or in other games. What version of Proton are you using? The latest one. Although the combat doesn't need a lot of attention. I keep trying to dodge with circle. And this is the bumper. Okay, let's see if we can repeat that effect. Let's see. Do we get the black artifact again?
Cannot fall here.
Apparently not. Maybe it's an XeSS bug. Okay.
Push, my lord. I'm in your debt.
But at least the swamp location seems to be fine. Which again is not the most demanding one, and it's the one that improved the most with the update, because we can now actually disable ambient occlusion properly. Which I think was the bug before. You disable screen space, reflections, and ambient occlusion, and the game still rendered reflections and ambient occlusion. Although this part I think goes a little bit too long when it comes to bosses. I don't feel like I'm doing much. Okay, thanks for that, Humbly. Good name. Sorry I read that late. I mean, the fan is not... I mean, on the OLED, the fan is not noisy. On the LCD, it is noisy, very noisy. But on the OLED, it's completely fine. It's pretty honey here, though. It's usually on the 65C range. Okay, almost dead. There we go. Reduce to atoms. Yeah, the drops it has, especially when you're looking into a distance, is pretty bad. And well, in the cutscenes it drops pretty dang hard. Oh well. Let's continue on ahead. So today we're finishing the demo on the Steam Deck, which means prologue. Alligator, ¿todo bien? Yeah, the cinematics, oh man. I mean, you might say, oh, okay, it's fine, the cinematics, you're not pressing buttons and interacting. Yeah, I agree, when that means 30 FPS. If it drops into the 90s or the 20s, the cutscenes don't look great. It's like watching a movie at a lower than 24 FPS. And these games are basically, I mean, you usually care about the story. So that destroys the experience, in my opinion. He shot the alligator. So as I was saying, Final Fantasy, I mean, all the thing about the game is the story. Usually gameplay goes second, in my opinion. So one of the points of the game, I think, is the cutscenes, is one of the big points. So the fact that they drop into the 20s, sometimes into the upper teens, yeah. Let's see. Flight of the fledgling. What a weird word. But I mean, how do they have low settings that look this good? I mean, look at that shadow on the character. That's pretty cool. And we're on low settings. I don't know if this fire casts shadows on the other character as well. Yes, it does! What the hell? That's awesome. I mean, it's not the first game that has shadow casting lights, obviously. But at the lowest settings, I don't usually expect objects that are moving to cast shadows dynamically.
I have to help them.
So considering its low settings, I mean, I'm surprised.
No, I must do my duty.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, I mean, in this cutscenes it drops even lower. I think it's the depth of field, actually. But still, 15 FPS in cutscenes. I'll still use performance FSR instead of balanced. I mean, balance is nice, don't get me wrong, but I think we need more GPU power. So let's do that. In the meantime, yeah, this gives us the extra performance we need. Although, yeah, when some effects show up, the CPU spikes. I'm not sure if that's loading some shader or something, compiling a shader in real time, because sometimes it's when an effect shows up for the first time. Although it does compile shaders when it launches, so... People underestimated the PS4? What do you mean? PS5 capabilities to run this game. Oh, PS5 capabilities, okay. Yeah, I mean, if the PS5 runs this game at 720 in demanding parts, it's obvious that it's going to drop pretty hard on PC. Unfortunately. That's usually what happens. Unless the game is really meant for PC first. Art is better than graphics? Yeah, I agree. In this case, I think they went a little bit back with the art. I mean, it's not bad art, I think it's good, but the performance hit is huge. But I understand that it's their own technology. They're not using the same engine as the previous game. It's something custom they made for this one. It's not the Luminous engine nor the Unreal engine. So it kind of makes sense. It's their own custom solution for a PS5 game. But still. Yeah, and that's what I was saying as well. Even inside a building, you get drops pretty hard on the performance side. Oh, the quick time event! Oh, I did it! But just the fact that in the cutscenes it drops so low. Let's see. CPU at 100% now. Okay, it stabilizes. Gotcha. So, in the first few seconds of the fight loading, in real time, the CPU spikes to 100%. So we got like 20 FPS, and after that it's stabilized. So I'm not sure what the game is loading, but something in the background is being loaded. In the open world, it's probably going to be a pain in the ass.
I'm fine.
Because if you're running around and stuff loads in real time, well, the CPU is not going to like that. It's going to run worse in this fight. We're about to find out. What do I have to press? Oh yeah, the bumper. Yeah, here's when it should drop.
May I have this dance? He's an Imperial Dragoon.
Here it's loading. Okay, come on CPU. Yeah, okay, now the CPU stabilized a bit, but now that there are more effects, it's a little bit more unstable, but it's not bad. Right now, at least. I was expecting this part to drop way lower. When I played this on PC, the demo, for the first time, this part was like below 20 very often. And I think it's because now we can actually turn off the screen space reflections. Because this part has a lot of reflective surfaces. Yeah, I mean, it should run worse here. I don't know what's going on, but that's fine. This part really did improve performance, but again, I think it's because now very rich shading and the screen space reflections work properly. Previously, while in the menu it said, oh yeah, you disabled the reflections, there were still screen space reflections, so... I found that weird, but now I understand why it was weird. It wasn't working properly. But hey, right now, I'm having a good time. We'll be turning this into Rogue Ally. Maybe tomorrow. I'm trying to check on time. Because I'm also going to have... well, This week, it's a big week for PC. We're actually getting God of War Ragnarok, so I gotta get ready for that. There's also FIFA 25, which is the most important game of the generation, obviously. We have this game tomorrow, and I'm missing one game. Oh, and we have the remaster of Dead Rising coming out. But this part actually runs better, so props to them for patching a demo. This part actually runs way better now. But the cutscenes, not so much, as you can see. Just look at this.
Are you hurt? I'm fine.
Yeah, God of War Ragnarok is 190 gigabytes. Yeah, it's ridiculously huge. That's what she said. Yeah, rip my wallet as well. Okay, when these dragons show up at the beginning, the Phoenix. It dropped even harder than now, so that's a good sign. Although I think this is an FMB. Yeah, it's an FMB. My bad. Now we're actually rendering. Okay, this makes more sense. So now we got a fight that is pretty on rails. But here we go. PS5 is only 85 gigs. Well, the PS5 has that, they have that optimization for storage. So there's only one texture quality option. And on the PS5 they can fit things better on the SSD. They mentioned that when developing Spider-Man, that they didn't have to put some objects repeated multiple times on disk. They could offload it, because the SSD will fetch them faster. So yeah, and again, the PS5 needs to do one texture quality option. On PC you need to add more things, and I'm guessing the cutscenes are going to be higher quality. Okay, here we go, boss fight. Oh man, I have to aim with a stick. Oh, never mind, it's an auto aim thing. Manual aiming is actually a lie. It's actually auto aiming. I have to barely move the stick.
I'll kill you. Icon?
But it's going to be interesting to try God of War Ragnarok. Especially, I'm more interested on the Steam Deck because it runs on PS4 as well. So I'm hoping for a 30 FPS cap on that one. Yeah, storage is nuts. I mean, remember when 30 gigabyte games was a lot? Now it's just an update for Warzone. Wow, I'm so fast! I baited that! Yeah, without the music, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Yeah, I know, but I have to protect myself from the YouTube algorithm. Or the copyright system, better said. Without music, it doesn't have any flair to it. Yeah, that's one of the bad things about making videos. You need to turn off the music just to be safe, be able to sleep at night. Turning off music or streamer mode, but many games do not have streamer mode, and Cyberpunk did have a streamer mode, but it was bugged when it came out, so the streamer mode did have a copyrighted music, so yeah, it was hilarious. Did Windows change your background today? Windows? No. I mean, if you mean the lock screen, yeah, it does change it very often. But my actual background, no. Luckily, it stays the same. You got God of War at 40 on the deck OLED, but it has some drops sometimes. Yeah, on CPU bound scenarios, on the OLED, it still drops below 40 on God of War. But I mean, it's still pretty impressive. considering it's a PS4 game, it shouldn't be impressive, but to me it is, to be able to play God of War like that. I want to redo the God of War franchise on the Steam Deck, that video, but on the OLED, to see if FSR3 got any better lately, because I've been seeing some cool updates. But I mean, as long as it's not God of War Ascension or God of War 3, you can play it on Steam Deck right now. But I'm interested in checking Ragnarok, despite not finishing God of War 2018, which I should get to at some point. I got busy with other games. ¿Qué dice Hiro? ¿Todo bien? Yeah, Ragnarok is a PS4 game too. I mean, I don't think we're in... If I think of PS4, I still think current gen. Next gen came out like 4 years ago at this point. The PS5 came out in 2020. Sorry, the PS5 came out in 2020. But there's still so many PS4s out there that... I mean, yeah. God of War is more stable on the OLED. I'll go for 30 on the LCD. Yeah, I mean, on the OLED, you get the faster RAM, which directly will affect the CPU performance. So it makes sense that it's smoother on the OLED. When it comes to the CPU standpoint, I agree. This gen is a blurry mess. Yeah, man. I mean, TAA is nice, but it's clearly thought for 4K or something like that. TAA at 1080p looks like dog shit. Okay, I did it! I pressed triangle multiple times. 70 to 90 FPS on PS4 on performance mode. Oh, then we should be okay. Yeah, my guess, since it's on PS4, first of all, and the people that are making the port are the same people that made the God of War 2018 port, I have a lot of faith that it's going to be running on Steam Deck. In your opinion, if one country during lockdown paid absurd prices for PS students, Sony got like, it's an open market for us, folks. Yeah, definitely. I mean, Nvidia and AMD are doing the same. AMD still gives us more VRAM, but AMD is also saying like, okay guys, we're not going to make the highest end GPUs anymore. I mean, AMD is giving us less VRAM than before. So AMD is in the game as well. You excited for the Z2 Extreme and handhelds releasing next year? I mean, yes, but at the same time, not really. What I want... Okay, thank you for playing. Okay, I got through. Okay, you have completed the demo. There's still much more story to tell. If you would like to learn more of Clive and the Dominants, please consider purchasing the main game. Playthrough data saved. Okay. Can we carry over to the main game, allowing you to continue from where you left off in the demo? Demo playthrough data cannot be loaded in the demo version. Okay. To play the demo again, select new game. Gotcha. So I'm going to... Okay, so we have the demo complete. And I'm saving again just in case, as usual. So now I have a save outside of the intro, which is good. And I have the Eikonic challenge. Huh, okay. Set later in the game, Clive has equipped with feats and abilities of 3... Okay, cool. More content. So this is several hours into the game. Cool. I only played for like 40 minutes, but I skipped all the cutscenes. The PS5 Pro debacle. I mean, I think Sony did a horrible job at showing the difference. That's my opinion. It's super expensive though, especially without a disk drive. I'm not a physical media person because I play on PC. And in my country, usually, if you're buying physical media, you're rich. I mean, physical media in my country was like, on the PS3 era, $100 for a physical copy of a game, but I could go online to the PlayStation Store and buy it for $60. So in my country, at least, physical media for video games is not a big deal. You can get games for cheaper used, but that's about it. But they're giving you less for the money. I mean, how are you selling a Pro console without a disk drive? That doesn't make sense. And the people that are going to buy it probably already have physical media. So, yeah. Yeah, in my country, the PS5 Pro is going to be like $1,500. No joke. Also, if you look at my country's analytics, most people are playing on PlayStations. Xbox in my country is not that popular. First game they showed on the Pro Showcase were PS4 games. Yeah, I mean, what we need right now is better games. I mean, you can see that by looking at what games people are playing. Wukong whooped ass everywhere. Then we got... what else? I mean, games that feel like older games are the ones that are being played the most. So I think the issue right now is not the hardware, it's the software. We are limited by software at the moment. It's all nice to have ray tracing and whatever, but if the game is garbage, I mean, just look at Star Wars Outlaws. It's an average game, but it has ray tracing. And in my opinion, it looks worse than many non-ray trace games. So personally, I would just focus on that, on good games. The thing is, it's difficult to make good games now. There's more corporate greed than ever before. Yeah, I don't know what's up with the cutscenes, but I'm guessing that also the thing with the cutscenes, they probably use higher quality effects and all that because it's a cutscene. But there's a mod that unlocks the frame rate because cutscenes are locked at 30. There's already someone on the internet that made a mod to get unlocked frame rates on cutscenes and FrameGen on cutscenes. And also there's heavy depth of field. That's usually a heavy effect in older engines. And on this one, maybe they went a little bit overkill with the quality of the depth of field. I don't know what that is, Rune Knight. Space Marine 2 looks insane. It doesn't have RT or HDR. Yeah, I agree. That's another one that is super good. Space Marine 2. That one, I mean, is one of the biggest games this year. Wukong and Space Marine 2. Games that feel right out of 2010, 2013. Games that actually are fun. In my opinion, of course. We now need to achieve 30 FPS and find a way to unlock the FPS. Exactly. You understood the assignment. Yeah, and there's also spikes on the CPU usage.
Well, we found the Imperial garrison, right where the Royalists left.
But also, I think Square Enix should be able to do lower settings than this. I mean, low settings looks very good in this game. We don't have ambient occlusion, which is pretty noticeable, and we don't have screen space reflections, but there is some cube map going on. But the shadows still look good. We still have good dynamic lighting, so I'm guessing they designed this for PS5 and then remembered that not everybody wants to play on a console and run away to get a PC version ready, so they actually make enough money to keep the company alive. That's my guess. Although some stuff into a distance there doesn't look so good. But I mean, things that are close to the camera look pretty good. Yeah, if they had lower settings, they would have released for the PS4, maybe. Not necessarily. But by lower settings, I mean, I don't know, maybe lower shadow resolution or lower effects quality. I think the issue with the PS4 is the CPU. In this case, the GPU as well, but this game uses a lot of CPU. More than I was initially anticipating.
Not this time. You know what to do, boy.
But when effects cover the screen, it drops pretty low. Cutscenes and effects covering the screen. And I keep forgetting that circle is not the dodge attack. Yeah, with multiple enemies on screen fighting, drops into the 20s. And we're using the full GPU. So I don't really know what the open world will be like. I don't have good expectations for the open world. Imagine combat outside now. Yeah. Yeah, the PS5 Pro doesn't have a CPU improvement. Yeah, but I was talking about the PS4, not the PS5. But true. That's another thing that I don't like about the PS5 Pro. They didn't add better CPU performance there. It's kind of understandable considering the backwards compatibility thing. But at least, I don't know, higher clock speed? Maybe? Maybe I'm asking for too much. But I think, again, advertisement has been horrible for PS5 Pro. I mean, I live in my house with my mother and my brother. So I basically built an office in the backyard. So we had an old place to store garbage. And I took that and I basically built a studio there. And I can do better comparison videos than Sony marketing team for PS5 Pro. I've been doing graphics comparisons live. That I basically record two videos and I compare them in real time, zooming in so you can see the difference. And you're telling me Sony cannot do it properly in a trailer for $1 million company? I mean, I'm just a guy that lives in the parents' house with a computer and I can do better graphics comparisons. I mean, you don't need Digital Foundry to do graphics comparisons. Anybody could do it. But the fact that Sony released a 1080p video to do graphics comparisons is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I mean, just by the way, guys, this live stream is at 1440p, 60 FPS. So I'm already giving you in real time, 33% more pixels and double the frame rate than the Sony conferences. So, the PS5 Pro announcement was basically, yeah, 1080p 30. And this stream from a guy in the back of his house with two computers is 1440p 60. The game is not running at 1440p obviously, but the stream itself, if I can do it, the $1 million company should be able to do it. Come on, man. So stupid. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Sony is winning. That's why they can do that. And well, this part, I'm noticing that the CPU thing is when it's loading enemies. When we got to this part, there was a spike to 100%, but then it stabilized and the enemies showed up, so... Well, you can play it on the Steam Deck. I wouldn't recommend it, at least right now. Especially, I mean, if I put effects on screen, it can drop below 30 on performance FSR3. And FrameGen doesn't save us, it just gives us input lag and stutter. Hey, Cypher Gaming! I think this one will be for the Steam Deck too. But hey, the Steam Deck 2 will be good. I mean, if the Steam Deck 1 can do this, imagine the Steam Deck 2. Yeah, the difference is that I care. Yeah, that's a good point. I forget. That's one of the big things. Still, BLI is the best exclusive. I don't know what that is. Is that like the Sims game? The South Korean Sims game? But at least this game on deck, I wouldn't recommend it. Although, since FrameGen inside the game is so bad, let's try Lossless scaling. I have it in my library. It has to be here. Lossless scaling. 5 megabytes. This software is not supported on Steam Deck. Ha! Yeah, right. This might be Jedi Survivor 2.0. Yeah, maybe. I mean, the CPU usage is pretty insane. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Oh, okay, gotcha. That one is probably coming to PC as well. It's a Square Enix PC port. Ugh. Yeah, but I think Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is Unreal Engine, right? Let me see if lossless scaling works for FrameGen. FrameGen natively on the game doesn't look particularly great. Incoming, ¿qué tal? Okay, so 7 Rebirth is Unreal Engine, makes sense. Okay, part 1 is UE4. Gotcha. Yeah, this is not Unreal Engine. I'm guessing Rebirth will run better than this one. Part 2 is UE5? Okay, gotcha. UE5, oh man. I think I have to close the game first, right? Or I'm doing something wrong. Okay, Arian, genial. Se hará el dato. Are you wrong on part 2? I don't know, man. That's a good question. I'm doing this without knowing, but does lossless scaling need to be launched in desktop mode or something? Okay, it's modified UE4. Proton experimental? Yeah, sure. Oh, I think that's the issue. Duh, I'm an idiot. Sorry, guys. It should be as simple as launching it. Any PC can run Final Fantasy VII Part 2, even the 1050 Ti? We'll see. Square Enix and Koei Tecmo. Now, Koei Tecmo is worse. Say whatever you want about Square Enix and Iron Galaxy, but Koei Tecmo is the absolute worst when it comes to PC ports. Oh, yeah, I work out. I also do Kung Fu. I do Kung Fu. Like Neo in the Matrix. Lossless scaling has never worked for you on SteamOS. We're going to try on the desktop. It's way bigger than Final Fantasy VII Remake. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. The open world especially. Hold up. I need to change the resolution. Of course, my screen is 4K. Yeah, I'm playing 720 at 4K. That's how much I love you guys. Yeah, your 1050 Ti is probably shitting its pants at the moment, saying, "Oh my god, no, not Final Fantasy 16." Y mira, Cristian, yo creo que el frame generation va a ser mejor, pero fuera de eso, yeah, although it's not launching for me. What the? Okay. Proton was disabled for some reason. You ever think God of War Ragnarok will run on a hard drive? Probably. If it runs on PS4, it runs on a hard drive. Should be fine. Yeah, it's not launching for me. It only runs on Windows 11? Oh, okay. Gotcha. Well, at some point it's going to work properly, I'm pretty sure. It's too good to not work. To read chat messages. Oh yeah. Good guy. I remember him. Oh, by the way, I'm using this now. I have a Series S. Yeah, I have a 4090, a Steam Deck, and a Series S. And I've been trying this remote play thing. It works pretty well. And this is for PC games. I think God of War Ragnarok will run better than God of War 2018, DX12 versus DX11. I mean, I think God of War Ragnarok is DX12, as far as I remember. Okay. No sé, Benjamín, no me acuerdo. Okay. Let me get back into the game. According to Steam, they don't know anything about deck compatibility. I would say the same thing. Because, well, it's pretty demanding, even on PC. It has the Nuvo, although the patches did improve the experience, especially in the swamp location and some of the fights. But the demo fixes were because the options menu was buggy. So I actually have, in this case, praise for Square Enix, just because of the fact that they released a demo on PC. Who releases a demo on PC? That's rare. Especially a game that doesn't have a PC version out yet. I mean, just think about it. They know it runs like this. They still released a demo. So they have balls, at least. So yeah, what they actually fixed, they say fixed stuttering issue. No idea. The following issues have also been addressed. Certain characters not being displayed properly, screen mode settings not applying, variable rate shading not applied, and screen space reflections not applying. This is why it runs better now on Steam Deck, on this patch, because these two things were fixed. When you disable screen space reflections before, they were still on. And there's probably, well, on the first patch, I cannot see anything about the first patch. So yeah, right now I wouldn't recommend it, considering what we saw in the demo, although I was able to play the demo from beginning to end. It was like 50 minutes of demo if I skip the cutscenes, although there's combat later, so for $0 the demo is worth playing in my opinion, but it drops so low in the cutscenes that I cannot even recommend it for the story alone on the Steam Deck, because some games you probably have I don't know, you're playing a game maybe turn-based as an example, and you're focused on the story, the cutscenes and all that. On this one, the cutscenes can drop into the 15 FPS range even with upscaling. So one of the main points in Final Fantasy, for what I know of the franchise, very little, is that you actually care about the story. So yeah, at this point I cannot recommend it on deck. And FrameGen, well, it's there, but it's not great. Stream the demo with the 4090. I want to stream the full game on the 4090 at 8K. Because right now the 4090 is the one doing this live stream at the moment. That's the issue. Otherwise, I would show you the 4090 just because I want to see the VRAM usage and the CPU usage. But the FrameGen, again, doesn't work properly, unfortunately. I think we're VRAM limited. So let me enable it just to show you, apart from enabling HDR for no reason. If I try to play with FrameGen, even without tearing, and the GPU clock being locked to 1300, FrameGen leaves a lot to be desired. We'll see, Hiro. Does FSR1 improve performance? It runs a tiny bit better, but it looks a lot worse. So the issue with FrameGen, as you can see, if you look at the frame time, I think the frame time speaks by itself. This is why, well, and if you look at the fire effect, it's bugged out visually. So while it probably looks okay when you watch the video, the latency is ridiculous. Let me see if I can show you somehow. I think I can connect this controller. Yeah, I think that would be better. Just to show you the input lag, because it's ridiculous. Yeah, it's latency on top of latency. Okay, I plugged in a series controller, best color in town. Hold up, it's not doing anything. Huh, funny. The game is not detecting my controller. I think it's because I also using a Steam Deck. Yeah, on the Steam thing, it actually does work. Xbox One controller. Okay. There we go. Not sure if that's good enough to show you, but the camera especially, it gets to the end of the stick. It's like controlling a game over slow internet if you enable FrameGen.
They may be holding the bearers there.
Sound plan. As long as we keep ourselves on this.
So don't bother with FrameGen. And this is without FrameGen. Not sure if you can notice that, but it responds instantly. I think it's pretty obvious, even on the video. Yeah, the GPU was at 60% usage because I kept the the clock to 1300. So the CPU doesn't take over, but still.
In here. They're all empty.
And you're gonna
I mean, without FrameGen, it just feels way better. So yeah, right now I wouldn't recommend it on Steam Deck. You can play the game, don't get me wrong, I played the entire demo. But the cutscenes can drop very, very low. I mean, like 15 FPS in some of them. So good luck. Right now is not playable on Steam Deck. Maybe never, who knows? Maybe it never happens. But here's hoping. Yeah, the native true FPS is the reason of the extra latency. But I'm tired of people making videos on the internet showing FrameGen and other people saying, oh my god, look, 35 FPS. Every game should have FrameGen. And I'm like, the real frame rate is not even close to 30. I mean, even if you're playing at 60, FrameGen will add extra latency. It will be way less noticeable, obviously. But still. But in these sections, as you can see, it's completely fine. The thing is, when it starts, something interesting starts happening on screen, it kind of dies. As you can see there. I mean, there's a lot of effects on screen. That's the thing that, stuff into the distance, that's what drops it the most. Yeah. But, for most people out there, I don't think it's a huge deal. I mean, if you look at the Steam Deck, what I play is Batman games, racing games, Cyberpunk, Duke Nukem, Doom, Dead Rising, Dying Light, GTA, Left 4 Dead. I'm going to then try this one, Jedi Survivor, Metal Gear Solid 5. I mean, I don't play new stuff in general on the Steam Deck. I played a little bit of Wukong, which was okay, but that's about it. Yeah, the last boss fight will be single digits. That's for sure. So yeah, right now, personally, I don't think... Let's put a cutscene just to see. I don't think it's worth playing on Steam Deck. Again, it's probably never going to be like that. Unless they are able to drop the effects further than this. Sounds a little bit... how to say it? Pessimistic. But I think I'm being realistic here. Same happened with Dragon's Dogma 2. I mean, if you look at Dragon's Dogma 2, this game runs way better. But apparently there's a rumor, as always, that the Switch is getting new hardware. And it's going to be announced next month or something. Which they've been saying for years. Hopefully this time is correct. And once we get a new Steam Deck, it will be, oh man, I'll be so happy. Because Valve said, we'll upgrade the Steam Deck once there is new interesting hardware. And that makes a big difference. So yeah, Valve said, until it doesn't make a big hardware difference, we're not going to make a Steam Deck 2. That's fine for me. I can wait. Especially having a stable platform, I think is more important right now. Yeah, Dragon's Dogma 2 is the worst running game this year. Definitely. They said in March that this port is the final stages of optimization. It just runs pretty much everywhere. Yeah, definitely. The Roguelite X is much more powerful. Yeah, definitely. It's more powerful, more expensive, but it doesn't have SteamOS and Valve support. I think that's the normal. That's the biggest thing for me so far, now that I had a ROG Ally. I think the support and the community that the Steam Deck has is the biggest advantage. I mean, the hardware is better, don't get me wrong, but there's also more battery consumption and all that. The Ally X fixes the battery thing. But it makes sense. I mean, Valve has Steam the headset, the VR headset and all that. But Asus has motherboards, graphics cards, monitors. Asus makes a lot of stuff. So it kind of makes sense that they don't have every resource on the Rogue Ally. And they already have 2 Rogue Allies out there. Sorry, 3. So if you think about it, it kind of makes sense. Yeah, we also need better games, I agree. But the Steam Deck, I think it would be nice to have an upgrade, a meaningful upgrade. But we're on Valve time. You know how Valve time works, right? When it's ready and everybody forgot about it, they release it. But I'm guessing with a new Switch, things are going to get interesting. I really want to see what Nintendo does. Especially when it comes to backwards compatibility. Couldn't play this at 30 FPS on PS5, gave me headaches. Yeah, I know. Here you have a stroke then. I'm just used to playing on lower end hardware, so it's not a big issue for me, but I wouldn't play the game like this. Okay, is he dead yet? There we go. Reduce 2 atoms. I mean, even here in the castle, I'm dropping. So yeah. Okay, I think I showed you enough, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did making a save for the game that's releasing tomorrow, this one. Because if you play the demo, it carries over your progress to the full game, which is what I wanted to do because I don't want to play the prologue if I have the full game available. So yeah, thank you for being here. I'll see you tomorrow with the full game. I think it will be fun to check out the open world. And hey Ari, how's it going? So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see ya next time. Bye guys, long live the Steam Deck, and yeah, that's where I'll leave you now. Thanks guys, see you tomorrow. Thank you, love you all. No sé qué es eso, Robin.